Hey guys, welcome back. I know it's been a while. I'm doing this video. I'm going to do a separate video to kind of update some things that's been going on around here, but I want to keep this separate because somebody may just be looking for information just on this topic, and I don't want to combine that. I try to keep things separate. That's the way my brain works anyways. But again, I tell you, I get a bunch of emails. I understand people get nervous. We usually get more fearful of things that we don't understand. That's just how it goes, because your brain always just kind of, goes in overdrive and you don't understand things. That's why I say knowledge is power, and understanding things so you're not as fearful. Is everything about the measles, and we know what's hyping that up. If you would go back, I'm in my mid-40s. If you go back to like before, not much before that, everyone got it, like how when I was growing up, we got chickenpox and everything else as well. We in our family, we don't do those. We haven't done those. So people got that, and you have lifetime immunity if you went through it. Now, again, I'm going to say this. You do what's best for you and your family, what you're most comfortable with, but make sure both sides of things, whatever anyone chooses, that is completely transparent and you understand the pros and cons and risk factors and benefits both sides. Okay? I'm going to say that. Read my disclaimer and all that. But we understand what it is. And I think the big thing also, something that needs to be made very clear, measles, just like the chickenpox and many other things, is a virus. It is not a disease. Look it up. It is not. I don't know why that has become labeled that way, except for it sounds scarier. But it's not. It's a virus. It's a viral load, and it's one like so many others. You get it, you go through it. Yes, you're sick. You have lifetime immunity. Again, do what's best for you. That's why most people who went through it, my parents' age and everything, and we didn't do these, so I'll just say I went through a lot of childhood viruses and everything that I have lifetime immunity for. I'll just say that. Again, that's our choice. So incubation period, every type of illness has a different incubation period. Some are very quick, some go on. It's anywhere from 7 to 14 days, your exposure. There's an incubation period in your body before you start showing symptoms. And that's why a lot of things that people, even if you have like the flu or something, you are contagious before you even show symptoms. And that's how things like that happen. But we have an immune system, for a reason. And there's many ways. If you know me, you know where I'm going. So then there's like the day 1 through day 4. So you contract it, family member or something, you contract it, and that's when you're going to get the initial fever. You're going to get the flu-like symptoms. Measles is an upper respiratory infection. It just comes with a rash, and there's a lot of viral rashes. Lots of viruses have different type of rashes, so it's one of those. And that's, all the upper respiratory symptoms, the head cold type symptoms, the sore throat, the coughing, everything like that, you're going to get that. And then it's like day 5 through 7 or so, 8, you're going to get, there's usually that spike in a fever. Your immune system is doing what it's supposed to. Yes, it makes you miserable. Yes, there's different risk factors for different individuals. It depends. Again, you do what's best for you on bringing things down. I personally don't use certain, if I have to use one over the counter for that, I go with ibuprofen. Other type ones that they have out, they can open the brain barrier, and I don't touch those. I don't ever give those to my children, never did, because it causes other issues. Again, you do what's best for you, because there's some people who can't take ibuprofen, and then there's other natural ways. There's certain people who can't run a fevers. My oldest kiddo, she's like that since she was birth. She can't run really high fevers. Some people can, when she was little, you could have a seizure from it. It just depends, and not everybody has that. Fevers are not dangerous. That's your body doing what it's supposed to, unless it gets too high. Certain ages, Anyway, so you'll start. That's the things that goes. Now people talk about, oh, it's so dangerous. It's so dangerous. This virus is so dangerous. Anything is dangerous. I talk about this all the time. What I say, I do not mess around with pneumonia, and I don't mess around with strep, because they can get bad really quick. And I suggest those getting treated with, going to a doctor if you need antibiotics and things like that. Now, not always. You have to use your best judgment, and it has to be what you're comfortable with and what the doctor says and how far along it is. And there's a lot of details that go into it. there's always risk factors. You can have a common cold and get a really very serious sinus infection, and that can be very serious. That can cause a lot of damage and be hospitalization type level of things. Same thing with pneumonia. Same thing with strep. People can get cold or virus and get an inner ear infection. There's all kinds of different things, and I talk about secondary infections, and that's usually if you've had a fever that's been gone more than 24 hours and then you spike a new fever, that's usually something secondary is going on, and that's your cues to look for. Yes, does that risk come with this? Yep, it sure does. Like anything else, you can have a common cold, allergy-induced sinus infection, the flu, anything else. They all come with those type of things. So we support our body. We listen to our body. And then we know if it's going in a bad direction, if it's getting worse, if something secondary is going on, or whatever. That can happen. So I'm just going to go over things that are more on the natural side. Again, if you want to do things, you do what's best for you. But knowledge is power. Don't be fearful, and just let's put things in perspective about everything, because I'm getting a lot of things, and I understand people are they're uncertain, and turn off the TV, because there's people pushing this that says they're for natural things and getting rid of certain things, and things are not done, and then they're pushing this thing again. They're all in the same club. That's why you got to do your own research and find things out and have things on hand. This is part of being ready for anything. These are common things. I'm gonna go over a couple things. So and I'm gonna attach a video below. I have a video I did way back, and it's talk about the first sign of illness protocol, something along those. I'm gonna attach it below because a lot of that helps with this. I talk about, and I didn't bring it in here. That is okay. Vitamin A. I talk about taking vitamin A, and you can get them in droppers like these type of things as well, or capsules or anything. If you have kiddos, you're gonna want the liquid. You're going to want the liquid droppers. Vitamin A is one I talk about. You can get too much vitamin A and it can be extremely dangerous. Okay, so listen carefully. Don't just keep taking it. It is on you to do what you're supposed to do and do things responsibly, not just, well, I'm going to do it longer because it'll help. That's not how these things work. So vitamin A is one of the biggest things that they use to combat and help with measles, or to keep them from getting severe. The secondary type of stuff that they talk about is vitamin A. So let me go over some dosages for like infants, like 6 months and under. You're going to do 50,000 IUs a day for 2 days. That's it. No more than 2 days. I don't care that you're like, oh, I want to keep doing it because you're going to do yourself more harm. 2 days. So 6 months to a year, you're going to do 100,000 IUs for 2 days. That's it. And then everyone else, like adults and everything, young children, adults and everything, you can do up to, I always say, start a little lower if you need to, is 200,000 IUs a day for 2 days. That is, so the first sign, the first sign of protocol, or start thinking like, hey, I've been exposed to it. Yes, I know I have it, whatever. That is what. It doesn't matter anything. It's only 2 days, and then let your body do what it's supposed to do. The people who got really bad secondary serious complications from measles is usually from vitamin A deficiency. That is something they use to combat that from way back when. They always have, still do. Any of you little flying monkeys and the little trolls that want to get up here and do, go look it up. It's even on the WHO's thing, the CDC and everything. They still do that, but they're not going to tell it on mainstream. Okay, so that's what it is. Now we'll go over things, over a couple other things. Vitamin D. I talk about it all the time. You're going to do your vitamin D drops, even yes, your kiddos, sunlight and everything, but you need to do your vitamin D drops. I talk about you don't have to get this brand. Whatever you get on any kind of vitamins, supplements, and everything, do not buy synthetic. I am telling you right now, if you buy synthetic, that is on you because you're wasting your money, and it'll be like, it doesn't work. It's not helping me. It caused me to get really sick. I've had people try to light me up over that. That is on you. You do get what you pay for. Sorry. That's just what it is. Vitamin D, you're going to need this. Vitamin A, vitamin D, you're going to need that for these virus loads. Another thing for that contains vitamin A and D, that just naturally contains it, is cod liver oil. This one I use, it's all sweaty. You have to keep this in the refrigerator once it's open. It tastes awful. I don't care. Get it down. It has wonderful benefits. But cod liver oil, unless you're allergic, there are people who are allergic to certain fish and different things they can't do, like fish oils, cod liver oil, and stuff like that. This is a really good one as well, and it has both of those. And if you're in an area that you know that it is, go ahead. What do? We put those things, we get them on board, and we have it in, so our body's already doing what it's supposed to. Not the high doses of vitamin A protocol I was talking about. You don't do that unless you know you've been infected with it, okay? Or you have it. So as soon as you know, that's what you take. So those are the top ones. A big one that does viral loads. I talk about how it works. I have a video on it. Yes, this sounds bad on the video. Put on the closed caption, subtitles or whatever. Turn it way up. Put on your earbuds, whatever. I'm not recording it because I'm busy and that's just what it is. It's monolaurin. I cannot say enough good about monolaurin and sea silver. I cannot. This is, I keep this, and I've had chronic Lyme disease since I was about 15, and I could still get reinfected with different things because I'm outside. I have animals. I have a farm. I stay in the woods, and that's just part of life of things. But this is gonna work fantastic for that viral load. Monolaurin. I've talked about a lot of these type of things, and I'm gonna put some videos down below to help you because it does. Some people get a bad cough. My onion and sugar cough syrup that you can make. I always recommend if you don't have it on hand, use what onion you have on hand. Red onions are the best for anything that is respiratory, and people who have asthma or respiratory things, that you're going to want to use a red onion. If you don't have one, use what you have, and it's still going to be helpful. The onion and sugar cough syrup, the honey and lemon drink thing, those work fantastic. I talk about the benefits of those. Cinnamon, add cinnamon to different things. Cinnamon helps even with fevers and different things and inflammation. You're going to want to add that. Garlic is it works wonderful, viral, bacterial, everything else. And get the garlic in. I don't care if you need to do it in a steep, you need to do it in a broth. If you do the honey and garlic, I'll put the video below if you haven't seen it. Get that in. Eat that every day. That's going to be really good for you. So then other things. I talk about the secondary things that can come along with that, or you just have the pain and achy stuff with it. So the mullein, now you can take it if you buy it already made. These are not essential oils. I don't use essential oils. I use tinctures and I use infused oils. It's completely different. I think it's more beneficial and it's a lot safer. So this, if it's your lung tonic, if you're having a lot of respiratory issues with it, get that type of thing in. Or you can do it as tea. There's mullein tea, dry mullein. I have all the different forms of it. I use it accordingly to how one is feeling and how they tolerate it. Because when you do things like this, it's a lot stronger than if you do like a tea or dry herbs or something of that. A lot of people can get anything upper respiratory, especially kiddos, and some people are just prone to it. They'll get the ear pain, ear infection, and a lot of things that are not ear infection. It's just the inflammation that's going on that causes that pain. Mullein and garlic. This is ear oil. Put this in, lay down, put it on, lay down on the opposite side with the ear up. Put this, a couple drops in, and lay there for 10 minutes and let it do its thing. This is all I've ever used for my kiddos, for even if they had an ear infection or anything. Oil of oregano, this is your power punch. I talk about this. Even if it's dried herbs and you just incorporate it in, oregano. I don't care how you do it. You make your own. I make my own oil of oregano as well. Just bringing these in because they're smaller and easier to show you. You're going to want to use those type of things. And I've talked about, I'm going to put a lot of videos down. If you haven't seen them or if you need a review, those are the things that you use. So many of the things I talk about that are the natural side, holistic, naturopathic type side of things, there's so many overlap that they cover so many different elements that we can come across and have issues with, and that's the wonderful thing of that. So I don't want people, make sure I'm not missing anything. I wrote myself some notes. I've been super busy and kind of scattered. Those are things I wanted to share, so you're not freaking out and be fearful. And then you always need to go, if you are of faith, if you are not, I'm praying for you I'm praying for you, is to pray about it, and don't claim things over yourself that aren't going on. And I just think that in doing the grounding, there is one thing with measles. Sometimes people are very sensitive to bright lights, outside, inside, everything like that. And you want to keep the fluids going. You want to make the homemade soup with all the turmeric and all the good herbs and all, if it's chicken or whatever you put in there. Keep those things in. If you can eat oranges and vitamin C, take vitamin C and zinc. Now, zinc is another one you cannot take over the recommended dosage because it causes problems. You can get toxicity from that one. Again, very, very, very important. With the vitamin A protocol, 2 days. I don't care if you think, if I take it 3 or 4 days, I'm going to feel better. No, that's not how things like this work. You got to be safe, be smart. Knowledge is power. Don't be fearful. Have the things on hand and how to use them. And so much of it is just simple. And it even doesn't have to be like these, because these can run expensive. They last forever because they're so concentrated. It only takes 1 or 2 drops. And things like the oil of oregano is, I always take the little medicine caps. You can do water, you can do juice or tea or something like that, and you put the drop in there and you drink it down like that because it's so hot, and it helps you absorb it better as well. So it's things I hope help you guys and ease some of the concerns or fears, or just like, hey, what do I need to have on hand? I've been getting a ton of those emails, and then this is it. And I'm going to put videos below that work for this as well. So I hope it helps. Everyone stay well, God bless, and I will see you next time.